And what do you know about the speaking of PTE?
I know that it was difficult because firstly it was the first time, so I was quite surprised and shocked when I saw the questions. Secondly, it's just more comprehensive compared to because they intertwine like different kind of like speaking as comparison to IELTS, I guess.
Yeah, it's a very different test type.
Yeah.
So with the 5 parts of the speaking in PTE, which one is more challenging for you?
Well, mostly the written lecture and describing images or diagrams.
Okay, so diagrams, not charts, not the statistical figures and data.
Well, no, they are actually quite the same, but I find that the most difficult one is tables, because tables normally consisting of a lot of information.
You're right, yeah, and they are not kind of visualized as well like this.
No,
with
exactly.
bar charts, they are visualized, but with tables, you need to have like a very clear category for presentation. Yeah, you're right. So since diagram, you found diagram, I would like you to start with this diagram, number 6.
Okay.
Forget PTE and forget the 25 seconds and 40 seconds. Explain this one, please.
It looks like some kind of equipment, or maybe you can call it a device that we used to gather some water from the looks of it through a bucket, and the bucket is tied up to the rope and like a big kind of fishing rod, but a giant one, with joint in the middle to make it into like some sort of a mechanical movement. And it's called shadoof.
Shadoof, yeah?
Yes, shadoof, which is a method of water collection.
Okay, all good, yeah. So this diagram illustrates shadoof, which is the method of water collection. Yes. So we know that with describe images, we need to introduce the task, which is overview, and then we need to refer to the contents and then conclusion. When it comes to like graphs, for example, bar chart, pie chart, line graph, what is really important is selectiveness. You must be selective. You cannot like explain everything, every detail, because the time is very limited. It's impossible to explain everything in 40 seconds. But when it comes to diagrams, when it comes to process, to life cycle, that's a different story. Yeah. And in life, for example, diagram, process, or life cycle, it is in our best interest to cover everything. Otherwise, the content will go down, okay? Yeah. And of course, there are like steps to be followed as well, which is like sequence of actions. And now I would like you to make it a 40 seconds presentation as it happens in PTE. Okay, let's go for it.
The given diagram represents a shadoof, which is a method of water collection. The equipment itself that they use looks like a big giant fishing rod with a mechanical joint in the middle with a supportive, looks like a column. And on the other side of the rod, there's a rope that tied up to a bucket to collect some water. There appears to be another boy or man that holding off the rope to point out the bucket to the right direction of the water. And on the other side of the joint, or the mechanical joint, there is another person that's standing on the other side of the pole with like a stair-shaped steps.
Okay, 40 seconds is done. Thank you. Yeah. Look, one approach, as you've done, Adrian, one approach to cover diagrams like this is, after introducing the task, we can say, what does it consist of? So the given diagram illustrates shadoof, which is a method of water collection. As it can be seen from the diagram, shadoof consists of what? And then you refer to detailed elements. Okay. Yeah. So what does it consist of, and how does it work?
Right.
Okay, just make it very easy. First, like for example, it consists of a post for climbing with some notches on it.
Yeah.
And then what does it consist of? A walkway.
Yeah.
A walkway which is attached to the post by pivot.
Yep.
Yes. And then a rope and a hanging bucket at the end of the walkway. Beautiful. 2 operators are needed to collect water from shadoof or by shadoof. And then, so how does it work? The first operator moves up and down. The words are here. You don't need to add anything.
Okay.
The first operator moves up and down. What does he do? He uses his weight to balance the lever.
True.
Yes, and he uses his weight to balance the lever. And the second operator collects water.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like a very typical structure for diagrams. What does it consist of? How does it work? And because conclusion or implication is highly recommended for described image, you can use a simple adjective to describe it. All in all, shadoof seems to be a demanding method of water collection. Okay, you know what I mean? Just a simple adjective to describe it. Whatever, is it interesting? So it's interesting. Is it demanding? So it's demanding. Just something to sum up the discussion, okay?
Right.
So let's do it again in 40 seconds.
Okay,
you're right. Go for it.
the diagram below shows the shadoof, which is a method of water collections. It looks like to be a giant pole posted with notches on the post for climbing, and then it has a pivot in the middle, which is like a joint, and then there's a lever that goes up and down, and on the other side of it there is a bucket that tied up with a rope to collect water. It looks like to be operated by two people. One is actually moving up and down on one of the side of the lever, and the other one is pointing the bucket towards the water direction. And overall, it looks like shadoof is a very interesting method of water collection. Okay,
good. 38 seconds, everything covered. Thank you. Look, Adrian, content-wise, again, you're fine. I mean, you're very sharp and smart to get the content. A little bit of brush up with your pronunciation. Okay, it's always highly recommended, and a bit clearer.
Right.
Okay, a bit. You definitely need to be clear. I mean, as I told you many times, because the speaking test of PTE is not interactive, you do not have the chance to modify your speaking by looking at a real examiner, because there's no examiner. You're speaking to microphone in front of computer. It is not interactive at all. So you need to make it interactive by practicing natural hand movement or speaking in front of computer on a daily basis. Okay, the other part of PTE speaking is like cross-talking, because at the same time other candidates start speaking, describing images, and they do their speaking as well. So if you don't practice under, in real circumstances, situations, you may be easily distracted in test day. I would recommend practice in front of computer with natural surrounding noise. Okay, let's say, for example, if your roommates are there, you can ask them to talk about something, or you can turn the TV on to practice. Okay, because if you practice in noise-free condition, that is not going. It's nothing like tests. Okay, so natural setting practice. And pronunciation. Your oral fluency is fine. You don't have noticeable hesitation, not related, idea-related hesitation, not word-related hesitation. You're fine for oral fluency, but pronunciation. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you. I do wish you a great day.